Hello, Sacred Souls. It's Susanna from Alamanic Shaman. So I have to give you a warning up front. What I have here for us tonight is actually very disgusting. And I'll explain. So basically, I've had quite a few people, and I'm sure you have too, throw their emotional and energetic SHIT at me, or like if I include you in this, but I'm going to talk about myself just as an example. So yeah, I've had quite a few people who were very persistent narcissists who would not give up, and it was nothing that was really my fault or I had done to them, but it was their pure evil, jealous hate that they were directing at me. So absolute emotional SHIT, toxic stuff on their part that they were throwing at me again and again and again and again, day after day after day after day after day. So I finally was guided to do something that's a little bit more of an extreme measure, and the idea is basically if they're throwing shit at us, we need to dip their nose or their face into their own shit, basically. Excuse my language. So for that, the inspiration, quote unquote, it was actually two things. One, when I was a kid, we had a cat, and one day the cat took a dump in the middle of the living room floor, which was like carpeted, or actually it was a really thick rug that was like filling almost the whole room. And my dad took the cat, dipped her nose into the poo, and then tapped her on the butt or on the like rear, and then put her in the kitty litter box. So basically telling her, this is not okay. That's where you have to do it, right? Like don't mess up our precious living area. There's a place where you can do your business, but not here, right? So that's the idea behind it. So when someone is directing all their SHIT at us, but it's their own SHIT, then we need to dip their nose into their own SHIT, right? So that's the idea behind it. And actually, I think it was 2 years ago, I had a really extremely toxic narcissist who was going through a hard time in her personal life. But again, like I was actually just trying to help, and when her response was too overwhelming and I had to pull back, that's when she tried every manipulative tactic on the planet that is known for narcissistic behavior, right? Or like typical narcissistic stuff. When I didn't respond and I finally managed to like get rid of her, free myself from her, and like say, no, this is your stuff, not mine. That's your responsibility to deal with, not mine. And that's when energetically it stopped. But in that process of like fully telling her that, I remember sitting in a park. Like after work, I went to a park and I tried to sit down in a more wooded area to be away from people because I wanted to be alone. And I didn't see, like, I had the intuition to sit on a really big leaf that I had found, which I don't normally do, but I did. Luckily, because I was actually sitting in human excrements, except the leaf was protecting me, but it wasn't protecting my hand when I leaned down, you know, like next to me. And I was thinking, like, why does it smell like shit? Right? And I was like, what is that? And then I took my hand, and it was just a little bit that was actually on my hand. Like, I was protected from most of it. But that's when it fully dawned on me. That was one of my aha moments of it's her shit. Like, and it was not dog poo, it was human excrement, right? So, and yeah, it was so disgusting. Like, I almost vomited. Like, I was like on the verge, right? So it was so absolutely disgusting. So that's when I realized it. So I actually did this twice when someone did not stop and they kept throwing their stuff at me. I tried something where I put a little figurine in front of a mirror and buried it. Still didn't work. And then I did this. And here I actually picked up, and you can see like dog poo. Some people left it in the park, not even in the garbage bin, but like in these bags. And I unpacked one, and I already feel like I almost wanted to vomit when that came out because it's so disgusting. And here I made a little yellow wax figurine. And since my hands were actually kind of black from the charcoal firewood, and I hadn't washed my hands after, it's actually perfect because the yellow is all darkened, right? So this yellow wax figurine shall represent the vicious, evil, vile, spiteful, jealous, envious, hateful narcissists that are throwing all their emotional shit at us. And we're dipping them into it themselves. And then I have, so basically their so-called gift that we're not directly returning, but anyway, so their emotional gift, quote unquote, I'm going to cut that ribbon, and then I'm going to do a little cord cutting and portal closing again, just in case. We're going to add some mustard that I always use to represent the emotional vomit. Then I was shown actually for a few days a hook, because they can have energetically their hooks or claws in us. And here I have some wood that, see if I hold it up against the fire, kind of looks like a hand, like a long hand, like of the Grinch or whatever, with like almost like a big claw, right? Or a hook type claw. And then I have one of those coffee sleeves with a heart that shall represent that we're moving more into our heart space. And I'm going to ask that we're praying that they can finally face their own stuff, and that we also find inner peace, love, and happiness. And we will, that we need some help getting to a place where we can actually forgive them, because when we're under constant heavy attack, it's really hard to get to that place of love towards those that are lashing out at us quite insanely, right? And there's a tiny little mesh, and that shall represent how in those, basically in those kind of relationships or connections, a lot of that is very karmic. And a lot of them go back to ancient times, which I have represented here by the mummy looking symbol. And I wrote Ancient Soul Contracts Finished. So we were all caught and sort of almost like imprisoned by these karmic contracts that kept going on, like perpetuating lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And we're going to free ourselves from that. And what I also found very cool is that since I couldn't write the whole word finished because of the logo here, fini in French means finished, and then here we have shed. So it's like we shed ourselves of all these ancient karmic soul contracts and ties and stuff, right? So, okay, so that's what's happening here. And you're lucky you can't smell this. It's really gross. It's like, once I unpacked this, I was like, I knew I wanted to get the fire started after, because then I would have to be really fast and just put it all in. But if you really, really need this healing, you might want to do, and this like protection from those narcissists that keep lashing out on us again and again and again and again, who can't face their own stuff, and they're directing it all at you. I've done it twice, that since it's their shit that is basically clogging up our lives, which actually I also always have represented in 3D. Like in those cases, my toilet clogs up. I've had the shower clog up, the sink in the bathroom, the drain, everything was clogged up. Like it was insane. And I don't usually like to use chemicals, but I had to use Drano to actually clear those again. And under the sink, I ended up like unscrewing it and getting that out, right? But yeah, it can get pretty insane. So what I did is I actually collected a stool sample of my own stuff. And when their stuff hits, it's usually not overly solid. Excuse me if I'm being a little graphic here. Put it straight into a container. Put the little mini doll on top, face down, right into the feces, and then close the lid and then bury it. Or if you do want to burn it, then I don't know if you can use a wooden container, or like if you want to make an exception and put plastic in there. I won't put the plastic ones in here. I'll throw them out again after. It's just I wanted to show what it is. Since I don't have a dog. But yeah, it was very strong and powerful. Afterwards, there was a big energetic shift happening for me in both cases. And since it's their stuff that's affecting us, if we use our own feces, that has their energy in it, right? So that's much stronger than just taking it from a poor dog that has nothing to do with it. And, you know, I mean, I'm doing it here as an example, right? But if you really need this, I highly recommend it, if you can stomach it, to actually be that extreme and go that far and be a little, you know, crazy and disgusting in that sense. Yeah, so excuse me, but it's like at that point, like when I first did that, I was so desperate for any and all help to get rid of their stuff that I was like, fine. It's like, I need to get rid of it, and they need to face their own stuff. So, okay, enough talk. Let's call in our spirit guides. And what I've always forgotten to explain, I actually do want to explain quickly here. So, in the end, when I say miigwech, it's also... So that's Ojibwe, right? It's the Ojibwe word for thank you. And there are 3 reasons for that, why I say it. Well, 4 actually. One is that the first spirituality that ever made sense to me was Native spirituality. And I was introduced to it, which was like very Ojibwe dominant in the circle of people, like in the style that I was taught. And that helped me connect to my ancestors, which is like now the ancestral shamanism I practice now is pretty much what my spirit guides have guided me to do. And like it's diverted very much away from what I used to practice when they taught me that. But it's still kind of the basis of my beliefs that I built on, right? So that's the first reason. The second reason is, since I live in Canada, as a German immigrant, I not only honor my own ancestors, but also the ancestors of the people or peoples that lived on this land here, and that is the native peoples, right? So that's the second reason. The third reason, 21 years ago, I was with my soulmate. Unfortunately, life circumstances were very challenging and we weren't able to stay together, but he was Ojibwe. He was native. He had some other stuff mixed in, but that was sort of the main culture in him. And I want to kind of remember and honor him. He actually passed away a few years ago. At that point, we no longer had contact, but then I found out from a family member of his. So I always kept him in my heart and I never stopped loving him. So I feel like I want to honor him, right? And the last reason is that I know I was a Native man in a past lifetime as well. So, you know, between all of those, and I believe that that was Ojibwe as well, because that's the culture I feel so drawn to. So, yeah, I just got the one image, right? But I'm certain. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to have to try to remember to call them in as well, because I didn't want to go into like all the details and explain too much blah, blah, blah and whatever. But I think I'm going to actually call them in officially as well. Like when I say my spirit guides, they are included anyhow. But I think I'm going to start verbalizing that as well from now on. Okay, so here we go. Dear Creator, higher power, source, and soul energy, our higher selves, our higher spirit guides of the light, our ancestors that are in the light, and the ancestors of the peoples of this land that we're on that are in the light, and great spirit of the fire. Please help us fully and completely protect ourselves from those lost narcissists that persistently keep throwing their emotional vomit, garbage, and shit, basically. Excuse my language. Like all their emotional toxic stuff at us, rather than face it themselves, look themselves in the mirror and look at their own actions and behavior and words and whatnot. So please help us in having them face themselves and their own actions so that they can learn from it and heal and work on their own healing, rather than always blaming others and throwing their hate at other people, their jealousy and whatever, for their own insecurities and shortcomings. So with that said, let me put that person face down in their own shit. Oh, this is disgusting. Okay, I'm going to put that straight in the fire because, oh gosh. Okay, so, and let me get it straight in there. And of course, here it says ancient soul contracts finished. Okay, so most of these toxic connections are ancient that we're reliving. So all of that toxic, evil, ancient, karmic stuff shall now and forever be finished. And they, oh God, oh my God, oh, this is bad. Excuse me. They shall face their own shit. Excuse my language. They need to face their own toxic actions and ways of thinking, their own toxic intentions, and yeah, everything that's toxic about them. They need to face it and heal from it. Throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is, all my relations. And I'm actually being guided right now to throw the other dog poo in there as well, so they can have all of their SHIT back. And sorry, that's in plastic bags, but I'm not opening those as well. Oh, that's disgusting and gross. Oy. But at least the smell is gone. It's like, oof. Oh. Hold on, let me get the rattle. Oh. I banish all of their toxic, evil, emotional, SHIT, CRAP into the fire to be burnt away and transmuted, neutralized, transmuted into love and light and return to source energy. And all those toxic, jealous, envious, hateful narcissists shall be flooded with massive amounts of healing light and unconditional love to help them in their healing process. Oh yeah, that's what the heart is for. Let their heart chakra be awakened and activated and be flooded with love and light. Just like this is a white heart, right? Oh, and so it is. All my relations. Whew. And let any and all hooks, whoops, here we go. And we shall all be freed from the karmic jail that we've been in, lifetime after lifetime. It shall now and forever be gone. And any and all hooks that they've had in us shall now and forever be removed from our energy fields, our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy fields. And all their claws that they've had in us and how they were clawing onto us, holding onto us, gripping onto us, trying to hold us back and stop us from living our own lives and following our dreams and fulfilling our soul purpose and our soul mission, shall now and forever be removed fully and completely from our system, our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field, throughout all of time and space. Hold on, let me see. Ooh, can't. Throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is. Thank you, Miigwech, Dankeschön, all my relations. And all of their toxic emotional vomit shall now and forever be burnt away in the fire as well, and be transmuted into love and light and returned to source energy. And I often want to say soul energy, and I believe that source energy is kind of the same as where our souls come from and where they are when they're like in the spirit world. I believe that's all one, but I mean that's just my belief, right? But it's just, it happened so many times that I ended up saying soul energy instead of source energy, that I feel that's their way of telling us, yeah man, that's basically the same thing. Okay, and all those evil snakes shall now and forever be broke. Oh, this is actually wet or moist. Can't quite break it. Okay, well, they shall be put in the fire anyhow. And burn. We gotta, I think I gotta put some, maybe some tissue in there. Let's see. It should come. Let me put some more sticks in. It should start burning again. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, here, let me just... Oh, yeah. And I feel like I don't actually need to cut this, but all their toxic gifts to us shall be returned. And any and all portals and gateways between us and them shall now and forever be closed and burnt away and removed throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is, all my relations. And the only thing I have left is a little bit more twine that I'm going to cut. Oh, here's a tiny piece. Oh, where is it? Oh, that looks like another hook. There you go. Ah, finally. Okay. All right, and for the quick cord cutting, any and all cords, bonds, soul bindings, vows, soul contracts, shackles, chains, leashes, karmic debts, karmic contracts, and any and all other connections that have bound us to these toxic people in our lives shall now and forever be cut, severed, and finished. Throughout, oh, I need my right hand, sorry, one sec, let me switch. Throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is, all my relations. That shall all be burnt away. Let's put this a little bit more in. Okay, here we go. Let me get a little bit more wood from here. See if I can... Oh, they're still connected, but this one I can put in. Okay. That's burning away beautifully. Whew. We shall now and forever be energetically and emotionally and in all other aspects be fully and completely disconnected from these toxic narcissists that kept directing all of their toxic evil stuff at us. We shall be freed throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime, and including any and all black magic and evil witchcraft and dark, evil, ill-wishing intentions that they've sent our way. It shall all be broken and neutralized and returned to source energy. And actually, since that also just came to me, let me see if I have a little stick. Yeah, there's a stick. Okay. All of the black magic they've done to us shall... Yeah, the sticks are all a bit moist. Shall now and forever be broken throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And since this is also moist and not really going, let me see if I can cut it. Okay. Well, let's burn it in half. Let's see how this works. Yeah, this stuff does not want to go. Okay, I think I have some chopsticks in my bag. Give me a quick moment. Sorry, I don't want to quite show you the bag that is full of stuff. Oh yeah, here. That was lucky, I found it pretty quickly. Okay, let's try this again. Third try. First the snake-looking wood, then the other one. Okay, any and all black magic and evil witchcraft that they did to us shall now and forever be broken throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is. Things do not want to break. Oh, here we go. Okay, third attempt. Okay, so whatever black magic they were doing did not want to break. It took 3 attempts to even get a stick to break. So that's very significant. So we're going to have to work on that some more. But, hold on. The camera just did some weird stuff. Whoops. Okay, so this one is now successfully broken. Ha! Ha ha ha! Woo! We won! Okay, but I'll do another ceremony too, for like specific black magic breaking, because I think that's needed again. Because also, like yesterday and the day before, I had a lot of hindrances and obstacles even getting to where I make the fires, and then the fires kept like dying down, which is usually what happens when there's a lot of dark interference trying to stop me from even doing these ceremonies, right? So like that's also a definite sign that there was a lot going on trying to like stop me or stop us. If I believe that also applies to the collective to some extent. I think a lot of us are experiencing very similar things, quite parallel, because like basically the dark ones don't want us to ascend, right? So anyone who's in the ascension process is gonna be under attack basically, until we manage to heal every aspect of ourselves that still keeps us vulnerable, right? So which is why we actually also need to try to work on our healing, on forgiveness. So that's why I was thinking for this last part of the ceremony, let's ask to get help in reaching a place of true unconditional love, compassion, kindness, and understanding in our hearts for the really, really, really bad and desperate emotional place that they are at, so that we can reach a place of forgiveness. Because when we truly understand the, well, again, shitty, the really awful and desperate and needy, unhappy, miserable place they're coming from, then it helps us kind of look at it from a different perspective and overcome this whole thing about what they're doing to us versus that's what they're coming from and the help that they need, right? But that's what helps us forgive them, when we can understand the bad emotional place they're in, right? Sorry, I hope this makes any sense. But like, for example, years and years and years ago, when my first big love left me and cheated on me with someone, on the day when the reality of it fully like sunk in, I remember walking through an alleyway, like cutting through it after I had dropped off some stuff at his place after he had moved out. And I was just crying. I was just walking through the alleyway crying. Like tears were just streaming down my face. And it was a sketchy neighborhood, right? And this guy who looked like he might have been a drug addict or something sketchy somehow, right? He looked at me and he said, "Girl, it's a beautiful sunny day. Smile." And that was enough to kind of help shift me out of it, right? And I'm not saying it's that easy for them to heal, but when we're deep, deep in the pain, we don't see the beauty around us. And sometimes we have to experience something to help us sort of realize, wait a minute, let's put this in perspective and whatever, right? So they're still in the dark. They're still in the place where the tears are streaming down their face and they're in deep, deep pain, right? So, yeah, I'm not saying we have to be their rescuer, because we will get hurt in the process and they're not actually going to heal if we jump in as the rescuer. Like, I believe they have to fall flat on their face on their own. And, you know, as they say, once you reach rock bottom, it can only go up, right? So I used to do social work with homeless people many years ago as well. And I remember in the training, the one man said, you can't help someone